Welcome to the #1 spot health and wellness practitioners go to double their current income and turn their 10-hour work day into a 10-hour work week. Join us as we dive into the tips, tools, and tech you need to create a life and practice on your own terms. More freedom, flexibility, fulfillment, and of course, funds. It's time to build your online practice. And I'm your host, Michelle Rogers, also known as the Wealthy Woman. Be sure to subscribe for your weekly dose of education, inspiration, and action. Let's get started. Taking the sales out of sales calls, how to enroll high-ticket clients in a heart-centered way. And some of you might know that this week I am hosting my heart-centered sales program. And basically this is material that I usually only share inside of the Wealth Academy. And what's happening is I'm revamping all of the material inside of the program. And so these new live programs are really the revamped material that integrates material, information, knowledge, wisdom, experience that I've gained since 2019, since I launched the material inside of the Wealth Academy. It used to be called the Wealth Mentorship. So welcome to today's masterclass. And I'm about to share the exact strategies that I've used to transform my relationship to sales that led me to making multi-six figures in my online practice with high ticket sales. And I highly encourage you, if you love this masterclass, to stay until the end. I not only am talking a little bit more about heart-centered sales, my live program that's coming up, we're starting this week on Thursday, but also I have a very, very, very special announcement and offer for you if you feel called. So my philosophy, if you're new to me, my work, is that we have the capacity to change the world as practitioners. The reason why I started mentoring and coaching practitioners was because I was reaching a limit of the amount of people that I could touch, and I was getting phenomenal results with my clients, but I only have so many hours in the day, right? And so do you. And so the way for me to create bigger impact was to share my protocols, my strategies, my ways of doing things that I've cultivated over the past 11, going on 12 years of practice. And so not only now, I'm touching, I have one private client right now, but technically I closed my one-on-one practice last year, but I'm teaching other practitioners, and these practitioners are, reaching more and more clients. And so the impact is exponential this way. So it's so much more fulfilling for me. And you might agree with this. When we give our body the right information, instructions, and environment, it does what it does best. It heals, right? And so my goal is to help you do that from a clinical perspective, but also create a really beautiful, functional, and holistic practice online for more freedom, more flexibility, more fulfillment, right? So that is that. And as far as this masterclass goes, my guess is that if you're curious about sales, you're wanting to increase your sales consciousness and strategy and approach, and just create a better relationship with that, but also increase your kind of literacy in that department. My guess is that you might be feeling some anxiety, some insecurity, maybe some fear, right? Anxiety around facing rejection or discussing high value services, especially if you're transitioning from an hourly rate or fee for service or even insurance paradigm. Maybe you're an employee, maybe you're working in a hospital, maybe you're an associate, whatever kind of position you might be in. I assume that you're probably looking for a completely different paradigm shift, and this might be part of it. Insecurity, so possibly feeling insecure around your worthiness, right? Can I charge high ticket? Are people going to pay this? Do I know enough? Your capabilities, right? Do I offer the right modalities? Do I offer enough value to step into this, right? Or doubts about the results that you can deliver. Sometimes, my experience at least was being given all of these tools, all of these modalities, all of these approaches, but no real strategy to get the results on a consistent basis. And so I felt kind of lost when I first started practicing, but I've really honed in that strategy. And now I've I've taken over 90 practitioners through my program. And so we've really locked in a reliable strategy to get results with your clients, which, as you can imagine, only improves and increases your reputation, your impact, your ability to bring in more people, and your confidence as well, right? So fear, you might have fear or guilt or shame around pivoting to a new model of health, right? You might feel that imposter syndrome sneaking in. I remember when I went into the online space at the beginning, and I had colleagues, fellow naturopathic doctors or acupuncturists who were like, "You can't do that. What are you doing? Like, no, you can't do that." And I realize now, looking back, that was really just their own fear being projected onto me, right? It wasn't that I couldn't do it. It's just that not many people were doing it. And now so many more people are open to the idea and very curious about the idea and really wanting more freedom, more fulfillment, more flexibility, because they're sick and tired, literally, of being in the traditional and or conventional model of care. That's just not working for people. So if this sounds like you are definitely in the right place. I'm so glad you're here. And I have got you freaking covered. So let's go. My hope is for you to feel empowered, confident, and inspired from this masterclass, to have the inner strength, the conviction to authentically convey the value of your services, knowing that you're making an impact, believing in your expertise and transformative impact of your services, which really allows you to communicate with assurance. Have genuine enthusiasm and passion for your services, which naturally resonates with potential clients. Now, I saw this. I'm not like a sports fan by any means, but I know Wayne Gretzky is a sports person. I believe. No, is it baseball? I literally have no idea, but I liked the quote because I thought it was applicable here. It's like, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, right? Like, just letting that land, like, oh yeah, like, if I don't try, if I don't do it, if I don't show up, the answer is always no, right? And that goes for sales calls. And it takes practice, no matter who you are, right? It takes practice. So let's kind of set a little pre-frame here. Why is this work significant? So in the traditional sales world, the objective often revolves around closing deals and meeting quotas, and it really is at the expense of building meaningful relationships. The emphasis is on persuasion and convincing and like trying to get people to buy, even if it's not the right fit, right? This is true. I've experienced this. I've been on the other end of this with mentors and coaches too, specifically, who, they were really more concerned about making the sale than actually caring and being curious about whether or not they could help me and where I wanted to go. And unfortunately, that left a really bad taste in my mouth, right? It's one of the reasons why I created my own program, my own mentorship program, and why I really focus on this heart-centered approach in all areas, specifically with sales. So anyways, this approach, if you can read this, right, like the words, right, like closing deals, meeting quotas, persuasion, convincing, all of those words have a sensation of like constriction. Like, I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my throat, I can feel it in my stomach, right? And this approach can really lead to stress, anxiety, lack of connection, right, for both you and for your potential client. So enter heart-centered sales, right? Imagine the sales process where the primary goal is not just about closing deals, but actually creating genuine connections that serve both you and your clients authentically. With heart-centered sales, the focus shifts from persuasion to understanding, right? It's about truly listening to your potential clients, understanding their unique needs, and providing tailored solutions. If you have those solutions, sometimes we don't, and we need to be real with ourselves when that's the case too, right? But do we have the solutions that they need that really align with their goals and their values? We're done, right, with high pressure tactics, transactional interactions. Like, that's such a masculine, icky, sticky vibe. And that's why so many of us as practitioners and people in general really have a negative opinion or viewpoint of sales, because we associate it with this like ickiness, right? We can feel it. Heart-centered sales prioritizes authenticity, transparency, genuine desire to help and support your potential clients on their journey. This approach creates a relaxed and comfortable environment for both parties, reducing anxiety and fostering a sense of trust. Imagine guiding your potential clients through a sales call that feels more like an open and honest conversation, right? Sales calls are actually interviews, right? Just shifting that perspective of like, instead of getting on the call, like, oh my God, I gotta make this sale. The truth is, at the beginning of the call, you already don't have the sale. So I encourage you to open up, start the conversation with curiosity, genuine curiosity about the other person on the other end, right? Are they the right person for you? Are you the right person for them? If not, that's totally okay and amazing, right? Because that leaves space for someone else to come in. There's nothing worse than signing the wrong client. Believe me, been there too. But with this approach, you end up empowering your potential clients to make informed decisions that serve their needs and their goals. And as I just mentioned, you avoid enrolling red flag clients, right? The people who, might make up 20% of your practice, but take up 80% of your time, right? No, thank you. I haven't had one of those in many years now, thankfully. Your focus ends up shifting from the immediate sale to the long-term well-being and success of you and your clients. It's really, truly a win-win situation. So by embracing heart-centered sales, you're not just selling a product or service, right? You're building a sustainable relationship, creating lasting partnerships, and making a really positive impact, right? Where someone's actually excited about giving you money and receiving your services, right? There's an exchange of energy that's happening that feels really good for everybody involved. So what is stopping most people or most practitioners from doing this? So it's not uncommon, I think, as I mentioned, for practitioners to find themselves entrenched in the traditional sales approaches without even realizing that an alternative heart-centered perspective really exists. So the reasons behind this are multifaceted, like everything, right? But various factors are involved there. Many practitioners have been exposed to these transactional sales approaches early on in their careers, right? Leading them to adopt these tactics as the norm, right? And it might be sales that we've interacted with through parallel industries. It doesn't necessarily need to be in the health and wellness industry, but sometimes we experience that as well. So many of us were used to or are used to just accepting anybody who comes in the door, right? Bringing on any client who has a pulse or any patient who has a pulse, right? You don't have to do that. So this familiarity can create a sense of comfort, even if the outcomes, right? Familiarity with that transactional process, that more traditional sales process, can have a sense of comfort because it's just familiar, right? Even if it causes stress, anxiety, and those transactional interactions, even though that's not at all what we want or our clients want, right? So it's also really essential to acknowledge the emotional weight often associated with sales. So fear of rejection, self-doubt, or the potential for negative client interactions can really create emotional barriers that prevent practitioners from exploring new approaches. The discomfort associated with stepping outside of your comfort zone can hinder your willingness to embrace heart-centered sales. Okay? So let's look at kind of a contrast of what typical sales, kind of the transactional sales looks like versus heart-centered sales. So typical sales are the objective. So the primary goal of traditional sales is to close the deal, make the sale, often focusing on achieving quotas and revenue targets, right? Like, I just need to make the sale. I just need to meet my monthly quota. I need to, meet this number because this is the goal, or these are the bills I have to cover, or whatever that may be. It's very transactional. With heart-centered sales, the objective is to create genuine connection and serve the needs of your potential clients authentically. Very, very different, right? Stark contrast. The approach. So typical sales, the emphasis is on persuasion, using various techniques to convince potential clients to buy products or services, even if it's not the best fit. For heart-centered sales, the emphasis is on understanding the potential client's unique needs, right? Really getting to know them. What are they actually searching for? Are you really listening, right? And providing tailored solutions that align with their goals and values. Of course, creating an irresistible offer is an entirely other program that is available inside the Wealth Academy. But, that really is around knowing who your client is and having this program that's like, hey, I've got exactly what you need, what you want, what you say that you truly desire. And then they're like, oh my God, like sign me up. I've been looking for this for my whole life, right? Typical sales, the relationship, the focus might be more transactional, right? With less emphasis on building genuine connections with clients. The relationship in heart-centered sales, prioritizing building meaningful relationships with clients, fostering trust, nurturing lasting partnerships, right? And this might be that they need a little bit of time. Sometimes it's not the right time. And so by fostering that relationship, building that trust, you're going to be the first person that they come back to when they are ready, right? Because they're like, I already talked to this person. They weren't slimy or skeezy or whatever the words are, and like I felt like they truly cared and they really offered, a service that I'm looking for. It was just like not the right time for one reason or another. And it's like as soon as it's the right time, they're ready to take the lead, you're going to be the first person on the list. Mindset. So traditional sales can sometimes involve high pressure tactics, right? That's what causes that anxiety. High pressure tactics, right? Leading to stress, anxiety for both the practitioner and the potential client. The heart-centered approach focuses on empathy, compassion, and a genuine desire to help and support potential clients in their journey. Outcome. So while closing the sale for typical sales, while closing the sale is essential, the long-term relationship with the client may not always be a priority, right? That's a lot of times where it's like, let's just get the sale done. I don't care, like blah, blah, blah. And then the person's in the container. They don't feel taken care of. They don't feel met. They don't feel seen, heard, understood, right? And heart-centered sales, while closing the sale is still important, right? We need to make money. We are running a business and it's our responsibility to provide quality service. But in the heart-centered approach, we place equal emphasis on the long-term well-being and success of the client as making money, making the sale, right? Because it really truly is this beautiful energetic exchange where it's a win-win between you and the client. Okay? So why does this matter? And I wrote, it's more than just making money, right? So some key elements. Building trust. We've talked about this. The heart-centered approach fosters trust and credibility with potential clients as they feel genuinely cared for and understood. Authenticity. The heart-centered sales prioritize authenticity and making the sales process more transparent and aligned with the values of the practitioner and the client. This is how we find those perfect fit clients, because you're staying true to your values and being truly authentically yourself. That's how we sign or enroll ideal, perfect fit dream clients. Okay. Reducing anxiety. A heart-centered approach decreases anxiety and stress in sales calls, creating a more relaxed and comfortable environment for both parties. I'm sure as we've been going through this, you're just like, it just feels so much better to be like, oh yeah, I'm interviewing this person. We're having a conversation. I'm not trying to convince, persuade, or go in sideways or be slimy or skeezy or anything like that. It's really coming from this open, transparent, grounded, embodied space, right? Empowering decisions. So potential clients feel empowered to make informed decisions that best serve their needs and goals, leading to more satisfying outcomes. Again, that win-win situation. When they sign up, they're not going to feel like the ball's been dropped. They're not going to feel like, oh God, what have I done? Right? They're like, oh my God, this is my place. I trust you, right? Sustainable relationships. So heart-centered sales builds long-lasting relationships, leading to repeat business, right? Clients who continue to maybe enroll in maintenance programs or ongoing membership programs, referrals, thriving practice based on genuine connections. Doesn't that sound nice, right? Doing heart-centered sales actually decreases the amount of work and time and energy you need to put into your marketing efforts, right? So the bigger impact, this affects everything. So imagine a business world where every interaction is genuine, right? Where every conversation resonates with authenticity, And where sales are more than just transactions, they're bridges to meaningful relationships. That's the essence of heart-centered sales, a powerful approach that propels sustainable growth by nurturing connections, driving repeat business, and enriching your practice with genuine partnerships. You're not just selling a product or service, right? You're building bridges of trust and understanding. Clients become more than just customers. They become a part of a shared journey towards empowered wellness. Right? Can you feel like that cohesion, like that strength in that partnership, as opposed to, thanks for giving me your money, here's your supplements, right? Or thanks for giving me your money, here's your protocol. Like there's a different interaction, there's a different relationship, a different bond that's being created. Plus, like I mentioned before, it prevents buyer's remorse and resentment. Right? When you approach sales from the heart, your clients feel valued and they keep coming back, not just for your offerings, but for the unique connection that they find in you. So, purpose. Heart-centered sales, like they don't just boost your business, right? They align your journey as a practitioner with your passion. So by embracing empathy, authenticity, genuine desire to help, you're not just transforming your clients' lives, you're fulfilling your purpose too, right? Like, again, we are creating wealth. And I'm saying wealth like WELLTH, right? Like my brand, right? A life full of purpose, happiness, joy, wealth, health, all of the things, right? And by actually creating this and fulfilling your purpose, right? And I say this because I remember back in the day when I was just working hourly rates, I was working as an associate. I also had my own practice and a full practice. And I was just like bogged down, exhausted. And I was like, I can't imagine doing this for 2 more years, let alone 20 years, right? Like, did I get in the wrong profession? Did I make the wrong choice? Like, what is this? Like, there's a part of me that absolutely adores this work, but then the reality of it, the application of it, like showing up day in, day out, doesn't feel good, right? It's not nourishing. Like, how am I still living paycheck to paycheck? What is this? So by doing this, by stepping into this alternative sales approach, you are fulfilling your purpose, right? People make greater impact with more money that they make, right? More money simply emphasizes or enhances or expands the type of person you are and the type of work that you're doing in the world. By leveraging your time and energy, by generating more income, you're able to create a bigger impact by either offering, lower tiered services, pro bono services, donating your time, energy, or money to charitable causes that you're passionate about, right? You get to extend this way beyond you, way beyond your family. So this alignment really adds deeper meaning to every sales call. It infuses your practice with the same passion that led you to this profession. Oh, remember those networking events? I don't know if you guys have ever gone, where business cards are handed out like flyers. I remember I went to this, I think it was BNI, Business Network International meeting once. That was super traumatizing. We were like, I don't know, it was hard for me to go. I despise networking events, to be totally honest. But there was this one segment, I don't know, maybe it was a 2-hour event. This one segment, they were like, okay, everybody, like we're gonna have like a competition where like you get this prize for whoever has the most business cards, or it's not, I don't know what it was, like hands out the most business cards or something like that. And I remember people were just like scrambling around in this room, and I was like trying to like make eye contact with people and just being like, hey, like da da da. And there were people there who were just like, wouldn't even make eye contact. They just looked down and like basically shove their business card in your face. And I was just like, oh, like it just felt so terrible. So terrible. Anyhow, heart-centered sales, a totally different path, right? It's about focusing on people. Again, people, not numbers. It's about real conversations and building trust. This only compounds for you and your reputation, right? This is why it leads to referrals. This is why it leads to continued business and re-enrollments. This isn't about quotas. It's about creating a space filled with clients who genuinely appreciate your transformative guidance and who you are. So components of heart-centered sales: mindset, sales funnel, and sales calls. So your mindset is the heart of heart-centered sales, right? It guides you to approach every single interaction with empathy, authenticity, and genuine desire to serve, ensuring that the sales journey is rooted in connection and compassion. The sales funnel. So this nurtures potential clients, understanding their needs, leading them towards transformative solutions, right? I go into depth on this in Magnetic Marketing, another program, but basically walking people through cold, warm, hot, sort of the buyer's journey, okay? This structured approach creates an environment where genuine connections can thrive, setting the stage for meaningful interactions. And then sales calls. So here you engage in heart-centered conversations, understanding needs, sharing stories, and building trust. Your authenticity shines as you guide potential clients towards transformative solutions, solidifying relationships, and paving the path to lasting growth in your practice. Anywho, that is what I've got for you today. I hope you loved this masterclass, and I think that is it. I just have to, here we go, stop share. There we go. All right, amazing. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, evening, and all of the other things. And I will chat with you soon. Bye.
All right, that's a wrap for today. If you want the exact breakdown of how I help practitioners go from their first 5K to consistent 50K months with just 2 offers, 10 hours per week, and an audience of less than 500 people, be sure to click the link in the podcast description or head to wealthywoman.co/breakdown. To make sure you don't miss an episode, be sure to subscribe. And for daily online practice insights, follow me on Instagram at wealthywoman.co. Let's create your life of wealth, full of abundance, purpose, health, wealth, and joy.